time. So you guys, welcome. This is Pivot Posse Episode Two with Ashley Corrado of Fortuna Designs. Tech startup looking to change the world, one web solution at a time. Thank you, Ashley, for joining us today.
Thanks, Liz. I'm very, very happy to be here.
Yeah.
So on this snowy day.
Yeah, very snowy again in New England. It's just like all the snow's coming in February. So I didn't say it before, but last time, but this time, anybody have any questions, just put it on in the comments, and then we can answer them as we go. So Ashley, if you could just tell us a little bit about yourself and a little bit about Fortuna Designs.
So I think the best way to describe myself is a serial entrepreneur. I have tried a million different things. I've been entrepreneurial since I was a kid. My parents owned a restaurant and they used to give away candy. But I used to try to sell it when I was like 6 or 7. I'd set up a little booth outside of their restaurant and would sell the candy they were giving away.
That is hysterical.
Yeah. There was another time in grade school, my friend and I decided we were just going to sell a bunch of stuff. We brought a bunch of toys in and just sold it at recess, like literally set up a market. Got in trouble for that.
Wait, what did you, so what was like
I think that's when punishment? Pogs were really big. Do you remember Pogs?
No, I think I'm pre-Pog.
Okay, Pogs were these cardboard circles that you lined up and then you threw a slammer down, and the object of Pogs was to turn over as many as you could, or I don't even remember.
Kind of like flip cups for like the schoolyard.
Yeah. So we were selling those and the slammers, and that was stupid. It only lasted 2 recesses, but and then in high school, I tried a bunch of different things in high school. I tried to start a couple of charities, and I actually got in trouble for selling cheat sheets for like AP classes and stuff. I would make summer reading cheat sheets. So
like Cliff Notes?
Yeah, pretty much. Because I was going to read the book regardless, and the cheat sheet helped me make my project or do my summer reading thing. And I saw that as reusable and started selling them, and then, made a little business out of it for a couple other tests and things. And then I got in trouble. It was frowned upon in an all-girl Catholic school. So
maybe any school.
Yeah, maybe any school. Yeah, maybe. We just wore uniforms, so it was a funny thing. So I've always been entrepreneurial but I never really tapped into it or embraced it until I got a job that really inspired me to pursue that passion and business development. But before that, I thought I was going to be a lawyer. I thought I actually wanted to be a politician. So I thought, great, I will study law. I will govern the land. Okay.
Yeah.
Again, not really tapping into who I really was, but just sort of trying to do what I thought was a successful thing.
So it was for success of being a lawyer or a politician?
Seemingly, when you're young and you have ideas of success, that's what it was for me.
Yeah, or doctor, right? That's like when you're
a kid, and I am not the doctor type or the caregiver type. I make a horrible nurse unless, they're casting for Ratchet again. That's pretty much it. I'm not, and I give so much credit to people who can and who have that mindset, that it's a different giving mindset than I have.
I'm with you
but
100%. My
yeah,
bedside manner
they're
is
saints.
not so great. So,
Yeah, they're people who give like that, you know, that person to person service. They're really saints, and I just can't do it. So I played to my strong suits, and that is design. And you know, it just my business has morphed so many times, but I'm super excited in the direction we're going now, because you know, now we're building a bit of a legacy. You know, before we were just kind of helping people and helping businesses, but now we're building lasting solutions to optimize mission driven companies. So what we can't do, we can help a worthy organization do.
oh my God, I totally love that. So it's like
Yeah. So
saying, you're using your talents to still make a difference in the world the best way that you know how.
yeah, I mean, I can't,
Love.
I can't, you know, be on the front lines like some folks can. Again, I can't give that caregiver love that, you know, so many people can, but crap, I can make a website. We can come up with an app to optimize your website and make it work for you. We can, you know, figure out what hasn't been working in your business and tailor a digital solution to that so you can serve more people. That's what the direction of Fortuna Design is about. It's not just building beautiful, wonderful things. It's about building those things for people and organizations who are doing great things in the world and doing things for the world, whether, you know, they're artists bringing beauty into the world or they're serving others. You know, we're working with a great new church. I'm so excited to be working with them. They have a wonderful, inclusive message. You know, those are,
Nice.
it's really got to be mission driven for us to get behind it. You know, it doesn't, it's, yeah, it's that's the legacy I want to leave.
That's amazing. So then with your kind of path there, I know it wasn't exactly straight, right? Because you talked about maybe being a lawyer or a politician, but then you also had like an event planning company,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And like that didn't go so well.
No,
And
it did not.
yeah. And if you don't mind sharing just a little bit of that so that other people that are watching can know that things may fail and it doesn't mean that you're done. I mean, you know, you got in trouble for recess and that didn't really stop you, right? Like,
No.
right? You know, your parents were like, dude, you can't be selling the free candy.
No,
Like,
they totally let me. And then
okay.
it just got old. So
Okay. But like, you know, a lot of people think that if it doesn't work once, that it's just never going to work. And if you could talk about the event planning company, because that didn't work, but you're still finding ways to be an entrepreneur.
yeah. So I think being an entrepreneur is in itself a mindset, you know, whether you're so yeah, that's an aside that we can always talk about another time. But so after college, I started an event planning company in a recession. I'm not blaming the recession, but I'm just putting, you know, a timeline to it. Nobody was having events. The only people who were having events were my friends who I was throwing parties for, or people who knew me who I was throwing parties for. I really wanted to start the company because I wanted to be the DJ. I figured I'd never get any DJ gigs if I wasn't running the show. So I sort of after college put everything into that and absolutely failed miserably. And then went into healthcare administration for a little while because, you know, you got to make money. It is what it is sometimes. You know, it would be lovely to have been able to bounce right back into another money-making situation that, you know, I created, but hey, it didn't work.
Well, yeah, and
And
sometimes you got to like bounce out to like get a bigger picture
yeah,
or another opportunity, right? Or
well,
for me, licking my wound, sometimes you got to do that.
it's funny because so I'm working in healthcare. I'm working at Tufts Cancer Center, working with these oncologists who are churning out, life-altering research, really important presentations of information, but their materials looked like crap. $1 billion studies, innumerable solutions that you just can't even quantify. And their PowerPoints looked like Microsoft Paint. So I saw that as an opportunity. So then I started King Robot design presentations. And I was doing presentations for health, for researchers.
Yeah.
And
because there's definitely a need apparently.
oh
Right?
God, yeah. Well, I mean, that's the thing. You can be super, super smart and be amazing in your field, but that doesn't mean you can make a beautiful presentation. That's
Exactly.
not your skill set. You're too busy saving lives. So
Right.
that was sort of my in. And then I had to, I knew a little code, but I had to build a website to promote the presentation company.
Mhm.
And then, holy crap, fell in love with web design and all things interwebs. And then sort of, here we are today. It's morphed. We were originally under the nomiker King Robot, and then I pivoted to PR by AC, which I had for about 6 years. And we just launched Fortuna Design, but we hadn't been doing PR for a really long time.
Right.
And it wasn't fun anymore. So lucky for me, I'm very lucky that I had the clientele and could make the pivot and take that service out and still, have a sustaining business.
Yeah.
But it was a struggle to change the name to sort of, I knew it was inevitable. I didn't want, number one, we didn't do PR. Number two, I hated that my initials were in it. I have a team. It's not just
Right.
about me. We're a collaborative team. So the whole name itself was a lie, and it didn't describe what we were doing.
Right.
So the evolution of Fortuna is pretty much the butterfly version of all of my design efforts, creative efforts. It's the butterfly. I don't know much about butterflies other than, they start off and
They go through a metamorphosis.
yeah. So Fortuna's my butterfly right now, and maybe someday it'll be a peacock. I have no idea.
Who knows? Who knows?
But that's the cool thing about being an entrepreneur. So.
Right? Because, well, and I think in general, human beings, we're creative. Like, I feel like people think that, like, they feel like, oh, if I just reach this peak, then it'll be good. But like, whenever you reach a peak, like, there's always a whole bunch of other peaks that you never even saw because you hadn't climbed that high yet to see all the other ones you wanted to climb as well.
Yeah. I don't think we're ever done.
We're not supposed to be. The universe is ever expanding. It's always expanding. Therefore, we are part of the universe. We're supposed to expand as well. Just play along with it. You talked a lot about pivots, and I know you and I had talked a little bit beforehand about, like, one of your biggest pivots was actually making the team. Can you just talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. So a pivot that sparked that pivot, a pre-pivot, was accepting the fact that I needed help. So I hired a coach.
Yeah.
And we did that interpersonal, in-depth work on not just my business, but sort of me and, how that's all reflecting in business.
Mm-hmm.
And, we identified things like burnout, lack of joy, for certain things, and came to the determination that, you know, we need some help.
Yeah.
There needs to be help. And
Because you were
then
in your way, weren't you? You were
oh,
kind of like
I was
getting in your
totally
own
in my
way.
own way. Own,
Yeah.
totally. You know, it wasn't enjoyable, because I couldn't be creative because I was doing everything.
Right.
I was also limiting what we could do as a firm because only one person. Yes, I'm sort of jack of all trades. I've got a bunch of different skills, but I'm not specialized in anything other than web design. So bringing on extra help means our services expand.
100%. 100%. Plus, if it's only one person, like you're like the funnel, right? Or like you're like the bottleneck. This way here, you can actually spread the work out and stuff.
Yeah.
And then when I talk to, it sounds like the team has just been so much more than perhaps you had thought originally. Like, yeah.
I am so lucky to work with people who understand the mission, who are I pre-screened everyone pretty hard. But because I mean, you know, it's my baby. It was, you know, it was, I just, you know, it's got to be a vibe. It's got to be a team. I've always thrived in teams, what, you know, playing sports. And that's what I wanted, you know, for the firm moving forward, is that team mentality of, you know, it's not I, it's definitely we. You know,
and we are stronger together than singularly apart, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. It's been amazing to have the support of the team, to see the team grow even more, and we're still hiring. So it's really funny. You open yourself up to help and receiving, and I don't want to sound superficial or sound, you know, weird or anything, but if you open yourself up to help and receiving, you will be gifted in some way, shape, or form, whether it's the help that you need, another opportunity, whatever it is. Once you kind of acknowledge your own limits and you become receptive to change, good things happen. They really
100%.
do. And it's a snowball effect.
It does, because then you'll actually be able, like, as soon as you do that and then you see it happen, you're like, oh my God, so this is actually what happened. So then you're able to do it a little bit more, you know, and understand it a little bit more. The name Fortuna, can you please, I just love like the whole thing behind the name.
Yeah. So I'm Italian American. So I was, you know, thinking about what a, you know, an interesting name for a tech startup might be. And I decided to step away from anything that sounded techy, because who wants to be like everybody else? Right. So I picked a pagan deity. Her name's Fortuna. And she is the goddess of fortune. She is the goddess of luck. Some people call her Lady Luck. And in times of struggle, way back in the day, we're talking, you know, the Roman Empire, and, you know, when people revered these pagan deities, she was the favorite deity of slaves, because they put their faith in her to get them out of their situation. And that, I don't know, that just resonated with me really hard. And funny point, all of the statues of her, she's pretty much topless. So that makes advertising
a little difficult
sometimes. But yeah, Fortuna is it's Lady Luck. And Lady, you know, it's what we hope to bring to people. It's what, you know, we hope to bring solutions. and
reap the
fortune.
harvest.
Yeah, and really help help others. She's also the deity of fertility for some. So, you know, just like super wonderful things around her. I guess she's also the goddess of gamblers, but I'm fine with that. You
Well,
got to,
yeah, I think with being an entrepreneur, you got to take risks, right?
Yeah, and you got to play big to win big. So
yeah, all in.
Right? Yeah.
So Trisha, real quick, it's not tuna, it's Fortuna.
Fortuna, yeah.
Yeah. So like fortune, but with an A instead of an E.
Yeah. When I was conceptualizing the name, I actually own this URL, Firm Fortuna, and then someone was like, "It's a Firm Fortuna." Like, I kind of like that as a joke, but not as my namesake. So we'll move away
We'll
from
adjust
that.
there. Yeah. So then what are like the 3 biggest tips that you would give to somebody that's either starting their own business or looking to change their careers?
Okay, 3. In no particular order.
Okay.
1, do not compare yourself to others. That is number 1. It is never gonna get you anywhere but jealous and in a place that is not authentic to you. You don't want to live someone else's life. Stop thinking about someone else's life. Stop comparing your life to someone else's life. That doesn't open you up for everything that you are meant to receive at the time you're meant to receive it.
Oh my God, I love that. I love the whole doesn't open you up.
Yeah, no, it's again, it's a limiting belief.
Yeah,
and
it is.
You can't limit yourself like that. We're only here once at this past, so we might as well make the most of it.
Yeah. I talked about a couple of times comparison and how it's like the thief of joy, and I always go to my garden.
Yeah.
Where I don't ever look at the carrots comparing themselves to the lettuce, being like, why aren't we growing as fast as they are? You know, they're just doing their own thing. So just stay in your lane, focus on you. That's who you are. You're not lettuce, you're a carrot, or you're an onion, or whatever, you know?
Yeah, no, I like that. I like that a lot.
All right, so it's number 1. Number 2.
2. So once you've made the shift and you are stepping into entrepreneurialism or ship, whatever, and whatever venture you're going forth, remind yourself that you are the expert. Remind yourself that you are the expert. You are the one who knows A, B, C, and D, and that's why you can do K through Z.
KLM.
You know everything. And sometimes we get so caught up in imposter syndrome, especially when we're, going out on our own or changing careers. It's really easy to get caught up in imposter syndrome and think 100%. We're not good enough, or think that we're just faking it till we make it. No, every ounce of experience you've ever had in your life has made you the expert that you are. You are unique, and that brings so much to the table.
Right. And if you're not stepping into you as your expert, then nobody else is going to play it like you are.
Exactly. And again, I always, go back to, like, what do you want your legacy to be? What do you want it to be? Do you want someone else to define your story for you?
That would suck.
No.
Dude, give me the pen and paper. I'm fine.
Okay.
Right?
Mine would be censored, but yeah.
And then 3rd.
I think I wrote it down.
Oh, there's the chair.
Oh, no. It goes, all right. I remember now. Okay.
It's the 3rd one. Don't buy a chair online.
Yeah. Are you hearing my squeaks? Yeah. Don't buy a chair online. Sit in the chair before you buy it. No. So going back to you're the expert, remember that, and then remember that the world needs you. There are clients who need you, who need your services, who need your products. You are the expert and the world needs you.
Right. Your unique delivery of that as well. It matters 100%.
Yeah. Even if you're, let's say, a plumber. Okay. Well, plumbing is seemingly the same, right? No, it's absolutely not. It's all about customer service, and it's all about your unique personality that you bring to the sale, to the service, to every interaction you have with your clients and referrals. So yeah, it's being uniquely you and remembering that uniquely you is the shit.
Yeah.
And you need to, the world needs you. That's
100%. Yeah. I agree with that no matter what. So a lot of your tips kind of come from like, stop looking outside, start looking here, and then remember how important it is to be you and to do what you're supposed to do. Right.
Yeah. It takes a lot of, I think it takes a lot of personal work, and work on your person, and
which isn't very comfortable, everybody, just so you know. It gets very uncomfortable.
No, it is
working on
messy.
yourself.
I mean, who hasn't ugly cried? But
yeah.
Release the pressure valve, acknowledge what's going on, acknowledge, sit in your shit, whatever it takes to get through that stuff, and then move on, because you're meant for great things. I mean, that's the honest to God truth. Once you stop getting in your own way, you can do anything.
Right. And I
mean, that doesn't mean it's going to happen overnight. No, nothing does. But you literally have the capacity to achieve great things.
100%. And I think that we normally get in our own way. We don't realize it, but we get in our own way because of fear.
Oh yeah. So, it's actually a question I have on my board, that I keep right next to my desk. And it's, how would I act if I was not afraid? And I like to think about that every now and then when I'm going into a situation, if I'm pitching something to a big prospect, if I'm whatever, how would I act if I wasn't afraid? If we just plucked fear out of my mindset, what would I do?
Right. That's a great question for people to ask themselves. Trisha's getting a little, teary-eyed here, like listening to it. She's like, she really needed to hear some of that. So that's awesome.
So that's not for me. I did not, create that. That came from my coach, but it's something that I think it's really important, and people have to hear it and have to remember that, because it is scary to be, whether, you work a 9-to-5 regular job, whatever, it's still scary. Life is just scary, but what's on the other side of that fear?
Right. Because then if you don't take it, if you don't take the leaps, if you don't push yourself, what are you holding yourself back from, Because fear is usually about the future that hasn't happened yet, right? We're afraid of some sort of instance. And like, once we're in it, even if it's crappy, we're too involved in responding and reacting to what's going on to actually be afraid. Yeah. So fear is never really felt in the moment that you're afraid of. It's felt when you're thinking about the moment that might happen,
Yeah.
So
I had $1 for every hour I spend anxious and afraid and mulling over things that I should have just executed because I know I can. I would have a lot of yachts if I had for all of my anxious hours,
That's right. You're a beach girl, right? You love the beach.
Yeah, I grew up in Winthrop.
Are you going to have like a fleet, like anxiety?
Yeah. The SS therapist and all the things.
All the things. So then Fortuna Designs, I know it's web-based like solutions. What are the solutions that you're providing?
Yeah. So it's not, when people think tech, they automatically go to the app space, or they think hardware, some cool gadget. That's not necessarily what we're doing. And we are providing web-based solutions. So whether it is an app, or it's an integration in your site, or it's reconfiguring how your processes are running on the back end, or it's developing a platform for someone who's got a large database. It's so much more than just websites and apps, which is really cool. I mean, the tech world's like the wild, wild west. You can still explore. I wore my hat for it. I kind of like Pharrell Williams today, but there's just opportunity out there, and I'm so excited and grateful to play in it.
Oh my God, I love that. It's kind of like deep space. Right?
Yeah.
So then last question is, how would you, Ashley, define success?
I think it's not monetary. I mean, everyone wants to be, comfortable and have their needs met, and that's great. But I think at the end of the day, success is going to bed, sitting in your truth, knowing that everything that you did that day came from your heart, and whether the outcome was good or bad, you're okay with it because it was you.
Oh my God.
And it was that, and it was real, and it was you, and it was authentic, and you, just love on yourself. I think that is a level of success that we all deserve to be at, just loving yourself, appreciating yourself, giving grace to yourself, forgiving yourself. That's success. And do I feel that every day? No, I'm not.
Look, dude, she's real. All right. Yeah.
No,
I'm a coach and I don't feel that every day.
Yeah, there are days when I literally, I get up very early every day, but there are days where I will just, again, spend those hours mulling still, because that's who I am. That's part of who I am. But in the grand scheme of things, at the end of the day, I act and I live with my heart. And, the reason I'm able to do that is because I have wonderful support around me, who lift me up. And that in and of itself is, makes me feel successful.
Oh my God, I love it. I love it. All right. So if anybody has any other questions, you can ask it here. I'm going to have Ashley post about her amazing company. Please check out her website too, because it's got stuff that moves on it and it's super cool. And she's also part of the group. Right? And she's part of the group, you guys. So if you have questions, just like tag her in the group and let her know. Ashley, do you have anything else to say real quick, or? No, just, oh, you know what I do? I have two things to say. I'm using your platform. Number one, use your blinker. Number two, you're directional. If you're not yes.
Number two, if there is snow on your car, remove it before going on the highway. You could really hurt someone.
You really could. You really could. Expect if you can reach it. I drive a huge truck, so like I get up there, but sometimes I can't. Yeah. I need to get a step stool.
Yeah, but you're right, on a farm, so you probably get an acre to like drive it off. And
yeah, I got a while to drive it off. Okay, you guys. So use your blinker, clean off your snow. Okay, like live your life with those two things, and you'll be perfect.
Thanks for coming to our TED Talk.
All right.